there is one more viewer other than us, of course. So welcome. I can't seem to see. I don't know if you can see the controls, but I guess I'm the only one who can see it. But welcome, everyone, wherever you are in the world. If you are a Kiwi or somewhere in New Zealand, it is quite late. So we don't really expect Kiwis, especially in the middle of the week, to participate or be awake at this time. But hey, if you are, then welcome. And where are you exactly, Dan, by the way? Is just Central?
I'm smack dab in the middle of the United States in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Home of country music.
Ah, okay. Country music. I like country music.
That's our claim to fame here in Nashville. We're the home of country music.
Oh, hey, I've been there once. Just once.
Although just down the street, we have Memphis, Tennessee, which is the home of Elvis.
Okay. All right.
Lots of people know who he is. Or was.
Right.
Depending on who you are.
Right. So this is my first time, for those who's viewing. This is my first time to do a Blab. So I'm a little nervous, to be honest. So only because I don't know the technical stuff that I need to do. I was thinking, oh my God, how does Dan join? Does it just as simple as clicking on join or whatever? So, but is this your first Blab as well? Not as, as a co-host?
This is my, yes, sort of. There was a time when I was supposed to be a guest, but I could not figure out how to work it on my phone.
Oh,
so I gave up.
You gave up.
I did. There was other people. I was like, there's enough people on that call.
Yep. Okay, cool. Well, anywho, there are 2 seats as far as I know with Blab. We are opening 2 seats for anyone to join us, Dan, right? It's not just us. So I don't...
Bring it on.
Cool. That's awesome. And people are coming in. So for those who are viewing at the moment, my name is Jam, by the way. And should I do this? Depends on where you're at, if you're left or right. But I think, this is Dan. I'm from New Zealand, Auckland, actually. And Dan is in the middle of the United States, and we were talking about it earlier. There are 2 seats available, so we are opening it. We're not locking the seats, so if you'd like to join in the conversation, that would be great. So today, or tonight, whatever, we are actually going to try to talk about it. We're kind of winging this based on our experience, about live mobile broadcasting tools out there. Is it good or maybe not good for bloggers? We don't know. What do you think? We want to hear what you have to say. It's not just Dan and I. We have our own opinions, of course, but we'd love to hear you as well. Either type in through the comments on the right sidebar, or again, if you don't mind taking the hot seat, there are 2 available. Join us as well. So just to start out, actually, which ones are we talking about? I mean, apart from Blab, of course. We're talking about Meerkat. There's Periscope. We're still even going to do Hangouts.
There's Hangouts. There's Facebook Mention. There's Ustream, Bamboozer, Spreecasting, Vedal, XSplit, Twitcasting, VTweet IT, and Yahoo's got a new one. And YouTube, if you look in your dashboard, now has settings for a new live streaming part. So YouTube's about to jump in the game.
Is that the same thing as, I know there's Hangouts, but there is YouTube Live, which is really for that's what you're talking about, right?
Yes, and it's going to be available on your mobile device. So, so it's going to be able to compete with the rest.
Right.
I think I think when on our podcast, Amplify podcast, we use this phrase, beta crap, all the time. And we call any technology that isn't final, like that isn't right yet, pretty much beta crap. And I think all of the technology out there is still in that phase. For instance, Periscope. Periscope is almost like a diary, like it's you talking to the world, and then you get to see little snippets of what people are responding to you. But even the interface is designed for you to look at the bottom of the screen while you're casting like this, while you're reading everyone's notes. So it's not as personal because they designed it so everyone's comments come up from the bottom of the screen. You can't really look people in the eye. Meerkat takes it one step further, and like I can see people, in this Blab, I can see at the top of the screen icons of people who are watching. So Meerkat allows you to click on one of those and let one of those people be part of the actual conversation for 60 seconds. And not only is it much better quality video, but for 60 seconds, someone else gets to be in the call.
Yeah.
And then Blab, now there's 4 of us.
Yeah. It's going to be a third one, by the way. There's someone calling in, but go ahead before we bring in Max in. Sorry, go ahead.
Excellent. So then Blab is like Google Hangout, but with a much lower learning curve. It's really just like join. You don't have to get codes. I mean, Google Hangout, I don't know what's going on with those people, but there's definitely some technology involved with trying to set those things up. So everybody's got, and then VTweet IT, you can actually embed a live cast into your website, which you can't do with Periscope or Meerkat.
Yeah.
And then Facebook Mentions actually goes live on Facebook, which you can't do with any of the other ones. So everyone's got like their little thing, but nobody has all of the things. And at this point in time, we have to ask our audience to pretty much go download some app if they're going to watch us. Hey, go download Meerkat or go download Periscope. And, that's almost the opposite of serving the audience where they are. That's making them do things that they might not have normally done. So I'm still waiting for that third-party app where you can say, hey, go download Doggy Whiz, and then you can watch any live stream from anywhere. You can pull a Meerkat or Periscope or XSplit, or you could. That would be fantastic. Because if you have Meerkat and I have Periscope, like, do we just fight it out? Like, how does it work?
Yeah. So it's actually going to be a good tool. It reminds me of that chat tool. What's it called? Trillion or something, wherein it pulls all the messengers and stuff into one tool. Is that what you're talking about? Yep.
I think there needs to be that for video.
So there's an idea, whoever's watching.
I think that somebody's trying to make that. There must be somebody because nobody needs 14 different video apps to watch all their friends do live stream stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Before you carry on, we actually have Max trying to join in, and he disappeared. I'm not sure if you're still there. So I do see Max join, but there is another viewer. So if you can just try to join in again. I was just waiting for Dan to just kind of finish his thoughts about, the different types of broadcasting tools. And then I'll do the check thing so that you can come in and join us. Cool. And someone just tweeted, one of my co-organizers and NZ bloggers, actually, because I kind of told them, hey, if you're awake, and this is saying good luck. So yes, we started 10 minutes in the way. Okay. Honestly, I've never tried Facebook, most of the things that you've done. Yeah, mentions. Because at first when it was launched and everyone's kind of started talking about it, it's more geared on music and all of that. So it's like, okay. And I'm not so sure. I haven't downloaded the app because I don't have an iPhone, but I do have an iPad. So I said, maybe I'll just try that later. Have you tried it? I mean, what's your experience with that anyway? Is it pros and cons?
Facebook Mentions rolled out about 3 months ago, and it only rolled out to verified accounts. So you're either a superstar like Garth Brooks, or you did get it. And people jump on it really quickly. I know Joel Comm used it right away. And it live streams in the Facebook, so which is probably where, if a technology is going to succeed, it needs to have that ability, because that's where a lot of our audiences are. I have recently seen several people get approved for a Facebook Mentions account who weren't verified. So it's definitely going to be rolling out to everybody. I think they were just getting the bugs out. I don't know why you get the bugs out on the superstars, but I suppose that's a smaller group of people.
Yeah.
But I've definitely been a participant. An audience member to several of them, and they work great. The technology is good.
So, and not knowing how it looks like and all that, I mean, when they're trying to live stream, where in Facebook do you need like a Facebook page? Is there a specific URL for it, or how
It
does it?
was it was right in your Facebook page. So as soon as you do it, it's
Right,
on your verified page. So it wasn't in a group, and then other people could come to your page and watch the live stream.
right. Okay, got it. Interesting. So, and you did mention about, oh, there was like VTweet. I've never heard of these things. The only thing that I've really tried is, well, Blab, of course, Meerkat Tribe. I'm not really, I I'm still dabbling with Periscope at the moment, once in a while, just for personal reasons, not necessarily for blogging per se,
Mm-hmm.
which we will come to that soon. But Hangout, of course. Um, Before Blab, I actually like Periscope. Yes, you do have a point about the comments, the chat and so on at the bottom. It is quite challenging. So you're trying to focus on the content that you're bringing to your viewers.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Yeah, and then of course you're trying your best to either have a tripod on your table, perhaps, or if you're moving around. Because I've got friends doing Periscope and they're just going through, like travel bloggers, for example. They'd be going around and showing, hey, this is Hong Kong, for example. I mean, it's quite hard in itself. So I don't know how they chat with them. Do you know what I mean? So it is quite difficult, but so far it's okay. It's okay.
Meerkat, they're the big dog still. They have the biggest companies on board, like U2 will Meerkat concert live. They still have the highest quality video. Their video is full screen on a mobile device, and you have that like picture in picture, so you can actually talk to someone. I think that what you just said, the travel blogger being able to show places, I think that is probably the best use of Periscope and Meerkat at the moment, because it's a show thing. So let me show you this. It's because neither of them are really conversational. How do you have a conversation with little words that pop up at the bottom of the screen? I mean,
Yeah.
you can respond, but it's not a traditional conversation. So I really, that's my favorite use is the travel bloggers. I saw a food blogger trying to make something, like cook on Periscope, and then they
Right.
kept like looking up to see the comments. Like, what did you say? I'm mixing the thing, and I thought,
Yeah, the eggs. Yeah.
this is not the
Yeah.
best tool for you. You probably need Google Hangout or something that's more impressive background. Um, but Meerkat's still the big dog out there. I think that Facebook mentions, once it rolls out, I got to think everyone's going to jump on board with Facebook mentions, because people are going to want their stuff to be shown in the stream, and everyone's kind of worried that they can't reach their audience at the moment anyway. I think people are probably going to jump all over that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, in terms of engagement, I mean, I'm a marketer myself, so we try to think of really cool viral social media campaigns so that more people can go to our page and the full story, right? I mean, even with bloggers, like last night we just had a meetup, and even though our topic was more photography, but again, time and time and again, each meetup they always ask questions about social media and engagement on their Facebook page and stuff, and different types of mediums and this one. So it's I think that one is going to be a biggie once it rolls out to the public. That would be awesome. And well, we still know, of course, Facebook is the biggest thus far social network in terms of usage. So yeah, everybody, I think almost everyone has a Facebook account. So yeah. I was just thinking, I mean, what do you think of this format? I mean, I've been looking and reading on articles, obviously, and they're saying, oh, this is probably your next best thing since sliced bread, so to speak, Blab, because you've got sort of the hangout kind of thing, but you've got more engagement from other people to join in the conversation, etc., with the comments. The interface is okay. I mean, any thoughts so far now that, we're kind of doing it at the moment for the last 15 minutes?
So this is nice technology. having 4 panels, the ability to communicate back and forth, the ease by which people could come in and come out, the ease of setup, it's fantastic. I still think that a live mobile broadcast needs to be where the people are instead of making them come to you. So the idea that there isn't anything on here that will allow us to embed this on our website, in a page like you can with Google Hangout, I think that it's missing that functionality. The inability to live stream this on our YouTube account or on Facebook, I think it's missing that. So I think it's still the best technology for this kind of a thing, because Google Hangout, it's just not as interesting as this when it comes to a 4-person chat with the tiny little heads at the bottom. But still, we're not where our audience is. We have to ask them to come over. And not only do we have to ask them to come over, we have to ask them to come to what almost sounds like a spammy URL. Come over to blab.im. A lot of people are like, what? .im? Are you sure that's real? Like, yeah, I am. I don't know why they went with that. I'm sorry. It's just...
Well, I think that's the reason for that is, well, instant messaging, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to ask the team Blab about that. Maybe research about it. But no, I totally agree. I mean, yeah. But I know you can, well, after this, as far as I know, you can download the video and put it on your own blog. So, but still, it would really be nice if you could. It's like live blogging, you put it on, embedded onto onto a page and stuff, and then people can just go there. So at least you've got only one platform that your followers know about.
Yeah, there's a lady, Trish Novotny. She runs a site called 24/7 Moms, and for 3 years, maybe even 4, she has done a Thursday night webinar, like this kind of thing. And she has done it on her page. I think it was 247moms.com/webinar or something like that. And the idea, and then she never changed the URL. That was always the URL. So on the right side of the screen, in early days, she had to figure out how was she going to, like 4 years ago, like trying to do the mobile thing, the live thing is difficult. So she had chat roll embedded on the right side of the page so people could chat. And on the left side, she continually tried different things like Ustream and Spreecast. But the audience only had to remember one thing. No matter what she tried, they only had to remember, /webinar. I like, as a blogger, that we have that ability. Like, put it on our page. We do that with the Google Hangouts. Put it on the page. Put chat roll on the right, because Google Hangouts chat's just horrible. And then your audience only has to remember one thing. That's one URL. It's people who link to it always link to the same thing. There's some value in that from a blogger standpoint. Is not confusing your audience. Just like, hey, doesn't matter. Just go to this page on Thursday nights. Maybe the technology will be different, but at least for you, the audience, just go to that page. I love that concept that you would do that for your audience instead of saying, oh, we're going to be on Periscope today. Oh, this week we're going to be on Meerkat. That I think is not serving them as much as we probably want it to be.
Yeah, exactly. Totally agree. And we can't really expect, yes, you've got your URL shorteners and stuff, and they won't remember at all the URL.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are other people. It's the same thing as we're trying to live stream our meetups, right, once a month. And we've been sort of experimenting, which is good and bad, sort of. But it is, to your point, having to tell people that, we're going to try Periscope, by the way. And of course, the first question they ask is, how do I join Periscope? Or what the hell is Periscope anyway? That's new. It's like, what's that? Isn't that something? So yeah. And then you have to spend some time to educate now your followers, your readers, not your fans, whatever you call it. This is the app you can download from this and this and this. And I was just thinking, you can actually write a blog post already about how to use Periscope for them to join you, pretty much. And it's the same as Blab. I've been posting once in a while saying, hey, if you've been blabbing or whatsoever, but still People are going, how do I get there? What do I do? Oh, the link might not be working. It's not where. And we've tried Livestream as well, livestream.com, which is a little bit kind of professional, but it's more, I guess it's kind of like a one-way type of broadcasting. Yes, there's the comments on the side, but it's not as interactive.
Do you know about the wedge?
No.
So wedge is a piece of hardware for live streaming, and it is probably the coolest thing out there for people like us who do meetings, who want to live stream like a meeting or a speech or something.
Yeah.
And wedge is on your iPad, and what it does is you connect your iPad via this wedge app to your different cameras, and then you could have up to 4 cameras in a room live streaming something. So you could have a fixed camera on a tripod in front of you, and you could have 2 people in the room who also have cameras who are videoing it. And you could even have another one like on the wall or something from the side. And wedge is fantastic because the person who's holding the iPad can see all 4 feeds, and just with their finger can click on the angle they want for that second, and that is the live stream angle that goes out via whatever medium that you're using. So you could click on, the direct one, or you could click on, I'm going to get somebody from the side, and then you could touch this one, or you could touch that one, and all of a sudden your live stream feed that goes out from your computer, even like to Blab, is 4 different camera angles.
So it's like having your mini TV studio kind of thing, wherein you're the director and say, okay, camera 1, camera 2.
And all you need is just somebody with an iPad who's like, oh, this looks cool. It'd be great to have somebody who has an idea what actually does look cool, somebody who's familiar with film. But even a monkey could go, I want to get a different angle at this point, and it works great. So the reason that I bring that up is because I think that the biggest problem that mobile live broadcasting has is you decide it's so easy that now you're in your living room on your couch and you decide to just do a Periscope, or you're walking down the street and you decide to do a Periscope, and you don't have good lighting, or you're slouching on the couch, or you're wearing your bad shirt, or your hair looks bad, or you're in the bathroom, and all of a sudden all of the mystique of how great you are, how great a leader that you are, goes away, because now we've just unveiled, if you're outside and the wind is there and now it's really bad audio, and you're no longer the professional that you have spent all this time building. Now you're just a person who also has bad audio problems or bad lighting problems. And I think that for some reason, I've seen some, gurus use Periscope, and all of a sudden I think, wow, that is really bad. And now the person who I had on this pedestal as a great leader that I followed, like all of a sudden there's like a chink in the armor that was never there before. Like, wow, that house is messy. Why would they just walk around their house with dirty dishes with a Periscope? So I think we have to be somewhat careful, because we are still building a brand. And even though it's easier to now do live mobile, I think we can somehow hurt ourselves if we're not kind of careful about our overall brand and what we're trying to do and trying to serve. Because, I've just seen a few that are like, ooh, that is not good.
Well,
are you in a closet?
See,
what are you doing?
I'm trying to cover whatever's behind me, by the way, to remain a little professional. I don't know if you can see my whiteboard, but anyway, sorry, here's the thing. I'm going to kind of challenge that. I agree, but isn't it that when we're bloggers, it's about, especially in social media, it's about authenticity. It's about, this is who I am. If I slouch on the couch and stuff, then this is who I am. Accept me as I am. Yes, I'm still human. I make mistakes and all that. Isn't that what these tools are actually doing? Making it more human. And before you say something, this is based on my experience. When I started blogging and stuff, everything was so safe, because I have to, my topics were on the professional side in business, sure. But it took time for me until, I could find my kind of personality and my voice and stuff. And a lot of bloggers, as you know, still have that challenge. But this one, now it's like, here I am. If you don't like me, sorry, then don't be my follower. But if you like what I have, I'm the star, then I'm an influencer, then go with it. Thoughts?
I like the idea of human, but I think we live in a largely edited world where, you see the edited lives of all your family and friends and followers, because we don't post the worst stuff about us on Facebook. When we take pictures, even in the car, you don't see all the McDonald's wrappers on the floor of the car. You don't see some of the trash that makes us human. We're pretty much edited. So for our audience, they have many options. There's lots of people who will teach you how to sew. And if you're into that, if that's your thing, and you're learning how to sew clothing or hats or something like that, you do have a lot of places that you can go for that information. And the question is, can you fall in love with the person, the personality, the way the person teaches, and can you fall out of love? Can there be things that make you go, "Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe you're a little bit too human for me. I really am just trying to learn to sew." Having your baby cry in the background during the whole thing, I don't know if that's really what I want. If that's the kind of, that's a level of stress you don't get on TV, and that we're not used to. The idea that somebody else's stress is going to come into yours. So I think that's just hard. There's just so many options out there. I mean, think about this. No matter how cool you are, when you send an email to your audience, they still have 65 other unopened emails in their inbox, and they have to choose which one to open. And no matter how good your content is or how great you are, there's a chance they're not going to open your email unless that subject line actually kind of entices them, kind of intrigues them, like, "Ooh, what's in that?" You can't just put, "Hey, another note from me," all the time, because somebody else has 7 ways to eat a banana.
Right.
You're like, "What? 7 ways? I'm going to open that." We still have to fight. No matter how good we are, we still have to fight for attention. And it's not a bad thing. There's just so many options for our audience that I think along the way that there's only so many missteps you can take before somebody else's awesome looks better than yours. In Periscope, I think we just have to be careful.
Yep.
You can't Periscope from the bathroom.
Well, not on.
Like no matter if you like. But this is me. I'm human. I poop too. Like like, we can't do that.
No, I'm sure there are limitations and stuff, but hey, you'll never know. There's a home improvement blogger there. They have to be in the bathroom. So
there's exceptions.
You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, no, okay, good points. Yeah, I guess to recap that, it's more of, I mean, obviously I'm not the person who's I do edit a lot, because obviously anything that's published online is there forever, more or less. Yeah, probably you can delete it and stuff. So yes, probably. But yeah, I guess it's just a matter of choosing the human side of things. And yeah, but I think it's still acceptable or forgivable for, say, for example, I don't know, name Seth Godin. Okay, it's just one of those influencers I really love. If he goes into Blab, I doubt it, but you'll never know. If he makes a mistake or something, I mean, it's kind of forgivable. But yeah, if I see him being in the bathroom, I think that's way too much. Yeah. It's extreme.
Or even, like, I couldn't imagine this, but imagine if Seth Godin decided to do this while eating spaghetti and then just got like sauce on his mouth. Like, oh, excuse me. But even just the concept of that in your head, like, what? Did he just, what? Like, just that whole concept is odd to me. I think somebody like him would make sure that he's got a good setup before he presses record. He's ready. I think the other problem that we have with live mobile broadcasting is time. You know, how many viewers are we going to get this second compared to after we download it and then put it on YouTube? You know, like the potential for many viewers to watch it after it's over is, you know, exponentially higher than live. So how do we train ourselves not to say stuff like this Thursday or yesterday was Easter, so that for the rest of time somebody starts, you know, presses play and goes, oh, this is old. You know, that immediate concept of, I already missed it. This is old. The Super Bowl's over. Why would I want Super Bowl predictions video? Like, that just goes away. So I think to some degree we also have to be a little bit aware that even though it's live, probably the most amount of viewers are going to watch it after it's over. And we have to pay a little bit of attention to them because they are really the ones that we're going to serve in the end. The live crowd, I mean, that ends in 15 minutes. And for the rest of time, people will get to watch our thing. Yep. So who is the actual viewer?
Well, it's all about evergreen content and stuff, but that's another topic probably we can talk about. Mm-hmm. All right. See, what are you doing now? See, being human, be careful. Anyway, all right. Well, we've actually said that we're going to try this out, since it is my first time and all that, for about half an hour. I don't know if you want to keep on going. I was hoping Max would come back and stuff and join us. But
I got a question for you.
Uh-oh. You do realize it's 11:30 in the evening, and I've had a full day, so.
All right, here's my question. So we have limited time, right? I mean, we have exactly the same amount of time that Richard Branson has, but somehow we don't get nearly as much time. We don't own like 27 companies as bloggers. So we have a finite amount of time. My question is, when is live mobile broadcasting the best use of time for that moment as a blogger? Is there come a time when it's the best use of our time versus all of the other things that we could be doing?
You know, I'm actually looking at it as, you did say, you mentioned earlier that I think the live broadcasting tools like this one stuff, especially Periscope, is really good for show and tell, sort of. Yeah. It's probably good for, I would say, even the journalists, you know, those press conferences and stuff. Here you go. Yes, you did mention about the content after watching it, but still, if it's big news, if everyone's talking about it, then yes, all these tools that we talked about, Periscope, Meerkat, Blab, etc. I think fashion bloggers, I would think, is also great. Like, we just had Fashion Week, so those type of event bloggers, definitely. But I don't know if cooking shows would. Yeah, I think it would be. But it's just
whoa. Event bloggers. What does that mean? I've never heard that term.
Event bloggers. So all they do, but these are more influencers actually, wherein some of the brands would come in and hire them, right, to promote their event. So all they do is just go through. So they've got categories or topics, like they go to workshops or conferences and stuff. So they get invited and they cover the event. So say if you're not necessarily...
I want this job.
There are.
I'm here. Can I raise my hand? I want to be I want that.
Hang on. I'm just saying hi to those who just joined us, by the way. Hey guys. Hi, Mike. Alec at Food Now. See, we've got hello, and Daniel and everyone. So we're not...
You know, speaking of events, I think that the live broadcasting platforms are a fantastic way to do Q&A after you speak, like at a conference.
Yep. Then
you come off stage and you could actually have people ask questions about your talk. And I haven't really seen anybody execute that well, but I think that could be, I think that could really be done well if somebody decided to use that. Said, hey, thanks for coming to hear me speak. You know, I'll be after the show. I'll be on Periscope answering questions about the talk and whatever else that you want. I'd love to see that
Actually,
happen and somebody execute it well.
Hey, Mike, welcome.
Hey, how are you
Welcome
guys
to the
doing
hot
this morning?
seat.
If I can interject here, I just have a few minutes, but I just wanted to. This is kind of an interesting topic to me. I'm a media guy at a science museum in North Carolina, and so we've been doing live streaming stuff and live broadcasting, but we continue to do more of it. The reason why I got into these formats on Periscope and Blab was because I saw them as really being used potentially with the museum to help us with our initiatives to educate people about science. But to your point, Dan, in another life where I had another job, I was doing this type of thing 15 years ago, where we would record presentations with doctors. The presentation would be uploaded to a service that would host like a webcasting type event. And after the event, there would be a live Q&A with an audio teleconference where people could ask the doctor, live questions. And this is really not much different. I can definitely see this being used. But the way I've seen it so far is I've seen people who are really, really good hosts. Hosts that get going really well on Periscope are almost like conductors of a symphony. And they you see it having, the hearts are flowing and the tweets are flowing and it's going really well. And then they will move their audience to Blab, where they can come in with a live talk. Now, will that change at a certain point where they just kind of eliminate the need for Periscope? I'm not really sure. I mean, we're as beta testers, we really will probably determine that.
15 years ago, to live stream something, that took some effort.
It was a big deal, and it was really expensive.
It was. You had to have a special camera that had outputs to your computer.
Well, what we were doing was we were just professionally recording and editing the presentations, and then this service, I won't name them, but because they're still in business, but the service would take the video and then they called it streaming or webcasting. The issues with broadcasting video years ago used to have to do with compatibility. Not all platforms could see it the same. So before you could watch the broadcast, you would have to make sure that you would have to run their little test that would test your operating system to make sure that you could watch it, and you'd get basically a pass fail. This technology, the way it's evolved, is really seamless. It works, miraculously across platforms. Understanding that the effort to get it to that point is enormous, and good on these guys for doing it. They it's not their first rodeo. So these guys who are building this Blab, so they're using some existing code from other stuff and building on new code to do this. But I think it's fantastic that you have a format like this that people can easily get in and out of broadcasts, and the openness of broadcasters to be able to let people have access to you. It's really amazing.
As we've traveled around, even when we went to New Zealand to do our conferences, and then in Minnesota, actually, there are a lot of places still where you buy your internet based on how many megabytes you can use a month.
Yes.
And there are people who have timers on their computers that says, "Ooh, I can only watch this YouTube video for 11 minutes because I still have to do these 8 things." So I think that until the world gets to the point where, like us, where we just pay and get unlimited, whatever, we could watch 1,000 movies on our internet a month. It still has some limited function for people who can't. Even in Minnesota, I went to a town where people couldn't watch our videos. I had to send them a disc. Like, hey, here's our tutorials on a CD, on a DVD. And they said, "We're glad that you gave us that because we can't watch half an hour of video in a month. That would ruin our plan." And I was think, wow, that's the world. There's so many different places.
I keep hoping DVD will go away. It keeps coming back up in my life.
Yes.
Okay, guys, I have a question for you. Okay, so we've got all these tools, right? I mean, again, as a blogger, are we just because it's so new, is it really just us experimenting and hoping that our audience, as we were talking about it earlier, Mike, Dan had a valid point wherein, well, we have to bring our audience or our followers to these tools instead of probably just embedding into our blogs or into our website, whatever it is, so that there's one central home, so to speak, where they go to. So are we just really experimenting at the moment? And hopefully we do choose, oh, you know what? Periscope's actually best for me because I'm an advanced blogger, for example. Or maybe Blab is better because I am a political blogger, perhaps, who would love to get comments from my followers on a certain topic. I think actually Blab would be good for political bloggers, but that's just,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So are we just experimenting? That's a question, or?
Okay.
I think we're 100% experimenting because all of these platforms are so weak in terms of. I mean, I still think Spreecast is by far the best tool on the market. There's nobody else that has anything that's as good as Spreecast. But Spreecast has a vulnerability, and that is they own your video. And if you want to download it, you got to pay like $65.
Well, they all say
that
they own your video, but it's a question. I guess those guys are making you pay for it.
Yeah, they make you pay for it, and they make your listeners like pay a membership to watch. But Spreecast is fantastic because I can take a YouTube video, I can actually drag it into the screen, so people can watch a YouTube video. I could drag my screen into the screen. I could take the comment from Genius LOCI, I could drag it onto the screen and we could discuss the comment so that everyone can see what we're doing. We can have 4 people. You can embed it in a website. I mean, there's just like all the cool stuff at once, except for the ability to live stream on Facebook. Everyone else is just sort of has a couple of the bells and whistles, but nobody yet has all.
Well, I think that's what's interesting about this particular format, Blab. I mean, these guys I love their approach, how they're, there's a reason why it says Blab Beta, and that it gives them a little extra leeway, particularly with having to do with the program as an app in Android or the App Store. They have a little more leeway. So, yes, I think, we're early adopters. So yeah, we are experimenting, but the truth of the matter is that this has been talked about for a long time. If you read the articles in the past from like Cisco and how they've been talking about for years now about how the technology is continuing to refine itself, and mobile, live distance learning, streaming, whatever you want to call it, that is definitely coming. I think I remember hearing, around 2017 is when it's supposed to hit like a certain mass. But you can't stop it, because it's like it's not an experiment. It's becoming part of our life because of our mobile devices, and everything moves to your mobile device. Now, interestingly, I am not comfortable yet with Blab on my mobile phone. Maybe it's because my mobile phone is too small. I can do Periscope on my mobile phone, but it's a different experience for me on Blab, where I'm more engaged in the chat that's going on the side. I'm paying attention to the chat that's on the side. And I know that on Periscope, you can see the tweets, but sometimes they get going so fast you can't capture it. Mm-hmm. So I do have a different experience on Blab than I do from Periscope. And I do think that Periscope will find its way, though, but it may not be quite what people may be thinking. And where I think Periscope will do the best is for like a documentation or a recording of something that's happened. I mean, one of the most I've seen a lot of stuff on Periscope because I was one of the early bird people that got on, and I was just really amazed, and so I was kind of hooked on it, like I am Blab right now. But I was watching it all the time and watching dozens and dozens of Periscopes broadcast every day. And one of the most profound ones that I've seen yet was a reporter, and I don't know if he was the BBC or what, but it was a reporter on the Serbian border recording what was happening in the refugee crisis. And that type of stuff, to be able to live stream in real time, is a complete game changer. And I think that kind of stuff can be used for social good. And I hope it does, and rather than watching I'd like to see more of that kind of stuff on Periscope. I mean, I've even seen cool stuff like one guy was showing his mother Niagara Falls. I thought that was kind of cool one day on a Periscope broadcast. I feel like that's where you're going to see Periscope being used more. I mean, they were early on, they were saying that they expected Periscope to have a major impact in the presidential elections. So regarding your title, broadcast, is all this good for bloggers? I think absolutely it's good for bloggers. It gives people an opportunity to put things in even more context than maybe what they are right now. And you can see things in a way that, that really helps you understand the situation and what's going on. So when I can listen to people, hey, Sean, when I can listen to people and understand what they're saying and understand a person's perspective, I have a much more loyal and enjoyable experience. This may be the new television as we know it.
So for anyone says anything, so just to recap a little bit for those who are just joining us. So I guess Periscope is really best for, again, the live show and tell, in the moment kind of thing, because you can bring it anywhere, obviously, because it's mobile. Yes, Blab may be changing the next few months. We don't know, or another tool comes out. But for now, I'm curious. No one has mentioned Meerkat at the moment, but Periscope is the tool that bloggers can use, especially event bloggers, Dan. Take note.
Mm-hmm.
You should. Yeah.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't use Periscope. If we do anything live, we use Meerkat. I think it's much higher quality video interface. The big dogs use Meerkat. The big companies. I still think until Periscope changes, Periscope's the only one that doesn't allow you to have a conversation. Meerkat, you can bring a person in. Blab, you can bring people in. But Periscope's still kind of a diary thing. Like, hey, I'm just going to be the one who talks.
Yeah.
You can throw me some tweets that I can watch in any 2-second interval, but otherwise, it's just me. I think they're going to have to roll something out to compete. Otherwise, I mean, it really is a talking head.
Yep.
Well,
I just want to jump in really quick. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, Sean. Yeah.
Dude.
Okay, I just dropped my mic down the stairs, so I was really upset. I just got this microphone too. It was horrible. I just wanted to jump in and say really quick that I wanted to start a podcast. I've been wanting to start a podcast for years, and I decided to start one back in July or June, so I started planning. I recorded 5 episodes via Skype, and literally right around the time where I'm like, all right, here's my release date, here's what I'm going to do, everybody started jumping on Blab, and people started saying, hey, get on Blab. And I was using Periscope, and Periscope was helping me with followers and such, but I'm really ADHD. Periscope is really hard for me to sit here and talk. I have to either talk and not look at the comments, or it's just a disaster. I have the worst time with it. So I teamed up with someone on Blab to start a tech show, and just to talk about technology for entrepreneurs and startups. I believe Laura, yes, thank you for the props. I think she was on our show last night. We have 2 of us. So what we do is one of us is looking at the comments, one of us is talking, and then we kind of switch back and forth. Thank you. And that has been great. We've done 4 episodes now, and I'm going to put out the 4 episodes of my podcast I already recorded, but I'm going to continue recording it over Blab and using Blab, asking the same questions, but then taking a few extra from the comments, I think is something for a podcaster is a really cool way of doing it. I have done things on Google Hangouts, but to be honest with you, it's kind of a mess if you want people to watch live and leave comments. You can jump on the phone and see that something's live, but if you want to leave comments, it says click here, and it takes you out into your mobile browser and all this other stuff. And this has been the one platform that people have somehow found, but I think having a co-host is not a solo thing on here. I really recommend having a co-host on Blab. Periscope is its own thing, and I do Periscope still a little bit, but I really like Blab, my opinion.
I think Blab is really more for, if you, and I might actually go to the business side as well, but for bloggers who have a lot of knowledge to share, like us, we've got our own opinions here and there. We're not necessarily talking about, oh, there's this big news happening, which is a Periscope kind of thing.
Apple today.
So it's, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We have live streamed our podcast 4 times. And each time I regret doing it because I like the comments, I like the interaction, but at the same time, I lose all production quality when you live stream it. Like our roll in music, the ability to edit in the special effects and the sounds, the roll out music, the advertising, all of that stuff. When you're doing it live, becomes so difficult.
Have you heard of Boss Jock yet?
I think we were going to try Boss Jock, but we were live streaming on Google Hangout the first few times, and then trying to figure out. All right, so now I gotta download it, and then I gotta strip the audio, and then I gotta take it back over to GarageBand and add the intro, outro, and then put it back up to iTunes. I don't know. I think maybe I need to try a different thing, but it definitely was difficult.
So what I was going to recommend, so I totally understand what you're talking. Actually, it's I work for a science museum, and we use a lot. We use a totally different service. We use Livestream.com, and we do their premium service.
Oh, nice.
So that's how we do. We're operating on a higher level with a lot of different equipments, mostly a lot of black magic equipment, which is fantastic. And so it allows you to be able to do that sort of production value that you're talking about. But you know what? Already people on Blab are coming up with their own ways to do this. I mean, you're seeing things like Cam Twist and Manicam. And last night I caught a broadcast with a fella in Vegas who, he's got a nice little setup, and he's using Wirecast as his switcher, as the compositor. And then his graphics was unbelievable. He made something in After Effects, his lower thirds, and it blows anything away that you've seen so far. I mean, so people are going to figure out how to deal with this. I think the biggest problem that video guys like myself, and I get perhaps you guys as well, is like, we've all of a sudden we've gotten used to this 16:9 format, and now we're back into a square format again. And my colleagues around me are struggling with that, especially like with Periscope. They cannot understand this portrait format for Periscope, and I've heard that maybe they were going to change that to landscape, but
I wish they would.
Well, YouTube is about to accept portrait.
Are they really?
They're going to change the interface, so they're going to be able
choice.
Yeah, and you're not going to have the black bars on the side. They announced that at CES or whatever that last show was recently.
See, I don't know, man. It's like the thing is that I have probably a different opinion on it than most video guys. It's like I really don't care if the content is really good. When I'm into broadcasters and hosts, I'm so into their content that I forget about all the rest of the stuff when it comes to a talking head. Now, if it's an event type of thing, I'm trying to capture what's going on. I want to see as wide as I can. But for talking heads, but it's an adjustment because we've spent. It's weird how in technology we do this cycle kind of thing. It's kind of like editing in the old days. It's like you would edit and it would be like, hopefully you wouldn't crash in the middle of the night while you're rendering everything out. And so we got past that, and then all of a sudden computers caught up, and then everything went HD, and now we're right back to the same thing again. And so I think we just have to weather through these type of things. And I think it's cool that these things are being beta tested and developed in real time publicly, because it's opening up huge opportunities for people, just if nothing else, in the relationships that people are being able to build globally. And by the way, have you noticed how on the global broadcast, you can literally go right through the time zones effortlessly on this format?
Do you know where Jam is right now?
Guess where? Am I in the U.S.? Do you think I'm in the U.S.? Probably not. Some people may think
I'm thinking the U.S. I'm not sure.
No.
Really? Actually,
not in the U.S.?
Nope.
Wow.
It's very late. It's very late, and I have an early day tomorrow.
New Zealand. So yeah. I mean, there you go. I mean, so it's like I think it's really, really cool.
Now, to your point, I mean, Mike, it's interesting because when I was trying, because this is my first one, by the way, and in terms of, effortless is I was freaking out because I do webinars as well. I mean, for clients and myself and whatever, but I've always had to worry about the time zones. People need to know that they, show up. Oh, sorry, I missed it because I thought it was 10 o'clock. Your time, not my time or whatever. But here, nothing. It just says, oh, it's in your time zone, so no problem. Though Dan freaked out yesterday, though. Yes, Dan, I was like, oh my God, are we talking in 8 hours? I said, no. Just go to the link and it does show that countdown. So it's pretty great, actually.
Well, that's because we've never had a conversation on the same day. So all of a sudden, I was thinking to myself, wait, we're going to be doing the Blab on Wednesday. And then I woke up and I thought, oh, crap, that's Tuesday for me. That's tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I dealt with the same thing that the guy did.
That's because we lose sense of we're all losing sense of time on Blab. How much time are you guys spending on Blab? Because I know how much I am, and it's ridiculous. I can't stop.
I would say not a lot. No. Really?
I did it first. I did it first, but I'm really good about closing the app, shutting my phone, and putting it in my pocket and listening to it as a podcast and not paying attention to comments. It does get unfortunate when people start tagging you, but I can't spend I see some people spending all day on Periscope and Blab, and I don't know how, but I cannot do it. I did spend a lot of time at the beginning, but I try to schedule it and say, okay, I can maybe do a little bit at night, but that's why we schedule our shows a week in advance too, and say, this is what we're going to be on. We might go over a little bit extra. I may jump on someone I know. If we have a lot of people that come in and talk in ours and they have their own, I'll jump in there for a little bit, like I am here, just to say, hey, and if I find it interesting. But yeah, some people I think are spending, there's a lot of blabaholics, and I think Hannah actually has a blabaholic show about
So Hannah has a great show about that.
Yeah, I don't really watch any. I mean, I feel like I got enough work to do to keep me busy forever. And the only time that I listen to, a show or a Periscope or even a YouTube video is when I'm seeking something. Otherwise, I really don't. There's just not enough time in the day for some reason.
I know. I don't know how. I don't know why I kind of can't stop right now. So I'm trying to get a better handle on it, but I just enjoy the conversations.
It's a new drug.
I'm doing this all through the middle of the night. So I'm staying up for hours at a time. I mean,
you might need to talk to somebody.
Yes.
12-step program. I'm working through.
You might need
the first step of meeting you at Starbucks.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. Maybe it speaks to something I'm seeking, personally. I don't know, but I just really enjoy the format, and I like to meet lots of people, and I find the conversations just incredibly thought-provoking.
Right.
There was a time when Hollywood was really afraid of reality TV, because all of a sudden, a lot of the primetime spots were taken up with people who weren't actors; they just were people. And I think that this is going to have a bigger impact on our entertainment. The idea that we can get live entertainment. I don't think this is ever going to take away from blockbuster movies. Like, I don't think people are going to stop seeing Mission Impossible the first Saturday in the summer or something. But I know that we don't watch television as a family. It just doesn't happen. We watch Netflix or we watch YouTube or something else. 'Cause YouTube's a channel on my TV now, which I think is just crazy.
I haven't had cable in years. I used to hook my laptop to a TV, and my fiance told me I was crazy. What is this Hulu? No one's going to do this. And now we have an Apple TV, a Roku, and a Chromecast. I'm like,
yeah, absolutely.
Remember 7 years ago when you were making fun of me and hooking up your laptop to the TV? I don't have enough time to watch TV. That's why I listen. I focus better when I have something going on in the background. It's a weird thing. I like to listen to stuff when I'm working. But yeah, I don't have time to watch TV. I don't have time to follow shows. And we've tried to watch 3 different TV shows. And every time I start to watch the show, I forget it comes on. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll wait till it comes on Netflix.
You want me to watch the show when you want me to watch it? Like,
yeah, right.
That's not the way it is anymore.
I don't want to pay for DVR. It's on next day on Hulu.
I was just thinking that it would be cool on this format if you could pick different templates. So say like you were going to do a presentation, maybe the top 2 squares become one large screen for slides or whatever, or video. And then you can have a couple of boxes down below to bring, or you could change it up right in the middle of a broadcast, go back to,
That's the part. That's the power of the third-party app.
Yep.
Somebody's going to figure out how to.
The other thing is, I think it would be cool to, like, most live broadcasting apps have a way for you to be able to check your camera and your audio settings real quick, and I'm not aware that this one does yet.
Hold on, I might have a neat trick for you.
I'm okay. I'm multitasking. Oh,
You're going to do a back end.
where's it going?
He's just
Oh.
Are you going to do a card trick? Is there gonna be magic involved?
Hi, Ethan. By the way,
Do you need a magic trick? Hold on. Here's a guitar pick.
is that part of the rehab? Sorry.
That's all I got.
That's all I got. I got nothing. I can juggle. I'm gonna juggle a razor blade, a pill bottle, and a battery.
No, that's step one of the 12-step program that Mike was saying. Well, rehab.
Yeah.
When
you're completely exhausted, don't do stupid things.
With your display, Sean, were you using what were you using to get the lower third thing going?
Cam twist.
Cam twist.
Yeah, I don't want to leave it up too long. I'm not trying to plug my stuff. But I use that. I use the little board over here to have the show title, our Facebook group down here. And then last night we did the top. Well, we were doing a top 10. We ended up doing like 15 apps. And I just kind of kept listing them on the board just so people could see them. I tried at first do kind of a rundown of what we were going to do. And then I realized people don't care what we're going to talk about. That more people cared about what we already talked about just because they were joining in late. And so I ended up doing that. And people it helps where people kind of get a grasp on what we're doing if we're doing like a list or we're doing a top something. Now, will I use every time? Probably not, but it really kind of depends. So I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm just someone told me
Sean,
I could do this.
You can make a high res After Effects movie with an alpha channel, and you could bring it into Cam Twist, and it would look a whole lot better than the graphics that you might be using. But that's kind of what I learned last night with the with that fellow John, who was showing how. I mean, he was making some really amazing graphics. I mean, like animated lower thirds. Really? Yeah, it was really nice quality.
What was he using?
He was building it in After Effects, and his animated lower third, and then he exported it as an MOV with an alpha channel at a high, it's at a high bit rate. So when he said that if you had something like Camera Twist, it has like a green screen or function in there somewhere.
Chroma key. So you should be able to key that graphic, that high res graphic, because right now everybody's graphics is really low res, but you can bring high res stuff into Cam Twist. Can you use Cam Twist to get rid of the little blab thing above your head that says Mike Garr or Dan Morris and replace it with something branded?
I don't know. That's a good question, but I'll tell you what the guys did last night was he had two boxes that were rotating opposite, and it was like one face of it had the guy's face on it, another face had the Blab owl, and then it just kept rotating around. So he just took the logo and took a high res thing and was keying it.
Trying to see how this looks. I've never done it. Can you guys see my iPad?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I was about to say that's cool.
Is that Cam Twist?
Yeah, that's Cam Twist. This is my iPad. I plugged my iPad and used QuickTime, and so that I want to see how this looks. So there, I can do one of my presentations using Keynote, just like that. Yep.
Good job, man. Good job.
Oh, that's good.
So Cam Twist is cool. I guess Manicam would do the same thing for a PC. Obviously, you're on a Mac, so
yeah, I have a PC too. I'm gonna play with. I'm doing a video on Cam Twist because so many people have asked me about it, and I'm gonna throw it up on YouTube for people because a lot of people want to do it. Show it adds a little bit to it, so I'm gonna do one on Cam. I've already done it. I just got to edit it. I'm gonna do one on Manicam too. I do have a PC. I'm not just a Mac person. I got an Android phone too, so I'm a tech guy. Sean McKenna Tech, not Sean McKenna Apple.
That's right.
I like it all. Anyway, I just wanted to hop in for a little bit, guys. I actually do have stuff to do today. But thank you for having me on, and I followed everyone here. Mike, I'm already following you. So
man, thank you.
You guys,
and I hope I followed Yeah, I hope I followed you correctly. But that's the thing icon beside your name, right?
Yes. So you two have a good morning.
Okay.
You have a good night. Go to sleep. Bye, guys.
I will. I was actually going to ask Dan. We were just. Thanks, Sean. By the way, we were just planning to do like a 30-minute thing, and I think Mike.
I killed it.
No.
Sorry.
No. No,
Sorry.
it's fine. It's awesome, actually. I just hope I don't become an addict, because I think I might actually be one. I don't know with Dan, but yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm
I
not.
don't know. People are starting to look at me. They're like, "You look so tired." Like, I can't tell them what I'm doing in the middle of the night.
Well, that's why there's makeup for girls. So anyway, that's
I think I'll get a handle on it, but I started doing it because I don't have anything to sell. I mean, it's like I did it because I do help some people outside of my normal job, is just sort of helping them. People that one is a nonprofit and another one she's like a solo business person, and I've been able to successfully get 2 people on Blab that totally embraced it. And these are people that don't really have a lot of video experience. So I'm kind of proud of that, and just kind of keep it going. I get on it because I'm trying to understand how it works and how it can best be used. And so that's why I do it. But the quick thing to the question is this good for bloggers? I absolutely think it is.
Is
Well, that
it
was a good
more
conversation, Jam?
Yeah, awesome. Before we kind of finish this whole thing, and thanks again, Dan, for being my co-host guest.
Yes.
That was awesome.
I'm going to go ahead and cut out now, but you guys have a great
Thanks,
day.
Mike.
All right, see you, Mike. Good chatting.
See you. So just a little recap. Of course, there were a lot of things that were discussed today. We're recording this, so there's a replay. But as Mike said, is it good for bloggers? Yes, and maybe it just needs a lot of tweaking in terms of the technology behind it and in terms of engagement and making it more comfortable for bloggers. As Dan has also pointed this out earlier. Hopefully that if it's Blab or something else, if we can have and house it and embed it into one house or blogs, then actually it would be perfect, right, Dan?
Hey, there's something new that's coming out next week, I'm sure, that nobody has seen of yet. And, Facebook mentions it's going to get released to the world shortly. The game is just going to change every week for a long time. And
exactly.
Who knows where we're going to be. I love the idea of using something embeddable that you can put on your site for your audience, because you're going to develop a Periscope audience, and then Periscope's going to go away, and then can you move them to Meerkat? Can you move them to whatever the new thing is? I don't know. But I know that if you just keep driving people to your site, you don't have to worry about what the tech was that you used to get them there.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining. I know there's a question from Italy. Is that going to be a Blab killer to FB Live for general? Probably we can have part 2, or we can blog about it. But we're thinking I need to sleep because it's kind of midnight here in New Zealand. But thanks, guys, for joining us. Let's do this again, Dan, and let's think of another topic. I had fun. Thanks, guys.
Enjoy the day.